Do you love managed democracy? Do you love liberty? Do you love Helldivers 2? Hi, my name is Adam, and I'm a game dev making my first commercial game called Monstermercs. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about the games that inspired me. Helldivers is a game that I've put a lot of hours into. It really inspired my own game. And at this point, you might be thinking, Adam, what does a sci-fi grunt simulator have to do with a fantasy action RPG? Well, more than you might think, actually. Let me tell you about my game.
Would you like to know more?
Monstermercs is a co-op action RPG where you and your team gear up for a mission, successfully complete objectives, and maybe extract. You may find loot during your missions in the form of armor and weapons. You can equip those in future contracts or sell it to buy even better gear. Before missions, you equip new armor, spells, and weapons just like in Helldiver loadouts. However, instead of stratagems, you become the weapon of mass destruction, as you're able to transform into some of the most powerful monsters in the game. When you kill enemies, you collect their essence. When you've collected enough, you can transform into powerful monsters. This is just the first set of similarities between Helldivers 2 and Monstermercs. It really doesn't stop there.
Would you like to know more?
What would Helldivers be without its unique approach to humor?
Say hello to democracy!
I love the satire of the Helldivers universe created by Arrowhead. There's so many subtle jokes and parodies and war propaganda that it really helps to immerse the player in the universe. You can talk to NPCs and learn more about the game's lore. You can watch in-game ads, and your character says crazy stuff like this.
Watch the set, prosperity!
But it's these subtle things that really bring out the game's charm, and were also a huge influence on how I approached humor in Monstermercs.
Well, loot. Totally worth almost dying.
Because in my game, just as the name suggests, you're not a hero. You're actually just a mercenary, and you're treated as such. The game actually starts with your death. When you died, you had never paid off your debt, and if you ever want to see your soul find peace, you have to pay it all back to the Iron Ledger. This story grounding is crucial because I wanted to give the player a reason why they're taking on these dangerous contracts. But also, a bit to parody the other RPGs that are out there where you're treated as the chosen one, where you're just layer upon layer with plot armor. We have plenty of those. Despite the setting and the art style of Helldivers being very different of Monstermercs, the core gameplay loops align very closely. When you break it down, the core gameplay loop of Helldivers is assemble a crew, building a loadout for that mission, queue up, complete objectives, and extract without dying too many times. And this isn't something completely unique to Helldivers. Plenty of games have built off this template, but to me, Helldivers is the perfect blend that I think more games should learn from. With so many different mission types and loadout options in Helldivers, there is a never-ending supply of combinations to try. When you team up with other friends and take on higher difficulty missions, you become a lot more conscious of the synergies of the loadouts. Now, everyone has a specific loadout or a specific gun that they love, but there are limits to its utility along with the inherent risk that it might be more dangerous than the enemies you're fighting. And I really love that. When a game can make me reassess my build, and make new plans and think things through more thoroughly, it makes my decisions feel more real and have more significance. That was a huge influence on how I chose to handle loadouts in my game. It made me realize that missions should have a variety of objectives and loadouts. These decisions should make a real difference in how the missions play out. And as you influence your teammates' build, theirs should influence yours. As I've been developing Monstermercs, the design of the spells has also been heavily influenced by Helldivers. With the game's skill tree, I wanted players to have a variety of builds to choose from. As you play and unlock more and more spells to equip, those spells should have effects on how players approach missions. This is one of the core differences between Helldivers and Monstermercs. In Monstermercs, there's a real notion of progression. If you happen to have made it this far into the video, I just want to say thanks. Whether you're a fan of Helldivers or indie games, I really appreciate you listening to me ramble on about how much I love Helldivers 2. While I develop my game, I'll be continuing this series to talk more about the games I love and how they've influenced Monstermercs. You can wishlist Monstermercs now on Steam. And if there's something you'd like to see from Helldivers 2 added to Monstermercs, please leave a comment below.